It's always the older dudes who yeah, the circuit's so soft. Back in my day, I used to break bottles on everybody else. Yeah, that's a felony. Like, oh my god, I'm really glad that shit doesn't happen as much anymore. You know, like that's a good thing. Like, wow, we're like not committing felons.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Bhangra podcast. Today we got Sahab, Grover, and me, Umer Qureshi, talking to you and bring you another mailbag episode of the podcast. Not really sure when this is actually going to come out. We recorded this at the same time as the first one, but we'll see whenever it actually gets out. So we got some more questions, and like before, we're going to read the question, read whoever sent it, and we're going to have at it. So first question we got today is from Bashir from DDR. Question is, do you think RDR had its intended effect, and why?
This is a good question, Bashir. And DDR, for those of you who know, is Dunya De Rang. RDR is Rania De Ronik. So Rania De Ronik was a all-female Bhangra comp. It was last summer. So this is a very interesting question. What was its intended effect, right? I do think that DCC did touch upon this.
Well, what do you think it was?
If the intended effect, what do I think?
What did you think the intended effect of RDR was?
So if the intended effect, I'm kind of interpreting it. The intended effect was to inject the circuit with a new wave of all-female Bhangra teams that are pushing the envelope.
Okay, all right.
That's kind of how I took it.
Mm-hmm.
Another intended effect could be was it to inject more female dancers into the circuit. So I mean, the first part of this was, if its intended effect was to inject the circuit with a new wave of all-female Bhangra teams, then I don't think it had its intended effect. The reason I'm saying this is just based on the 5 or 6 comps, or maybe 10 comps that happened in 2019-2020 competitive season. There was only 2 all-female teams in the circuit. Those 2 teams were DCBC, who were the organizers of RDR, and ASD, Anik Sherniadi, which is based out of Detroit.
Yeah.
So they were the only 2 really truly ever present all-girl Bhangra teams that were consistently competing. Again, this is a East Coast, Midwest perspective. I don't necessarily, because what I was hoping for, and I think what they wanted out of that, was that these all-female Bhangra teams took this comp and then ran with it and started competing more. I believe that's what was the intended effect of it. You know, that they had an opportunity. All these teams, all these women had an opportunity to compete, when sometimes they didn't always have that opportunity to compete, and they were able to really use that as a platform to push themselves and take themselves to the next level. But they all disappeared from competitions. They weren't really there. Now, if the other intended effect was to inject more female dancers in the circuit, I mean, maybe. But all those women who were in RDR, I feel like were already members of the circuit. I'm not saying that it didn't bring anybody else new, but when I look at all those teams from RDR, most of those dancers were already people who have competed multiple times.
So I will disagree with you to some extent. I mean, from my conversation with them on the podcast, episode 26, when I was talking to RDR and like the vibe I got, I mean, I think one of the big goals was like, if we can get more all-girls teams, that'd be dope. Didn't really happen, but at the same time, what I did see, and I mean, like, listen, this is from my experience with FCB. Because FCB had an all-girls team that went. And what I really saw was a lot of growth from the girls on my team. And I think that was one of the things that they were saying. They really just wanted to give an opportunity for a lot of girls to have a competition. And I think, I mean, the thing is, like, this is a male-dominated...
That's very true, actually, what you're saying.
Yeah,
I agree with that, actually, because I've seen a lot more of a female presence and voice of women in, like, DDN when we put up posts or whenever, you know, like, a lot of the questions we got were from women.
Yeah.
So that's a very valid point.
No, yeah, and like, listen, like, it's just, how do you say this? This is a male-dominated dance. It's a male-dominated circuit. However, it's not like girls can't dance or any bullshit like that. It's just the captain roles, like a lot of independent teams are just run by dudes. And what I really think this comp really brought out was a lot of girls got maybe not their first opportunity, but I mean, like, was given an opportunity to run a team by themselves, or maybe with a little help from their friends. But like running a team, making choreography, making sets. I know at least for, again, I can really only speak for FCB. I can't speak for any other teams, but like this is Bonit, Sonali, Jemmy, whoever else was really super involved with that. That was the first time making a set like pretty much by themselves. First time making formations, choreography, mainly by themselves, working with the mix, all that stuff. First time they've done it. And this comp gave them that opportunity, and the effects showed. I mean, like, Bonit, Jemmy, Sonali, Kumi, like all the girls on FCB that like they got so much better off that. They got that stage confidence, they got the performance, and like I think I've really seen that.
I'm gonna speak of an example in Michigan with ASD actually. So it did maybe the way I started off was I looked at it too black and white. And you know, it's always great like to, you know, kind of get new perspectives, and that's why I love having these conversations.
Yeah.
I would say with ASD. So I do believe the captains of that team, and I may be wrong, but are Sharni and Manveer. They're two captains of ASD who dance. I believe Sharni danced with SDS at RDR. Now, having that performance experience, that leadership experience, or seeing that leadership experience, maybe serving as a role model, and then she then has that opportunity. Another person, and this is just, you know, Umer and I, we're very limited in the sense that we're both we're from East Coast Midwest. I believe there were some Spartan girls who also danced on SDS too. So it gave them another opportunity to dance in that type of environment. And then I do believe they ended up becoming captains of Spartan Bhangra, or took up a leadership role of Spartan Bhangra, you know, just from working with some of those individuals and hearing these stories. Yeah. So, I mean, it's all about what its intended effect was. I do think that if you were going to take it as a black and white statement, like I said earlier, that, okay, are you going to have more female Bhangra teams? Okay. No, that didn't reach that goal, right? But it did reach a different goal, Umer, which you're touching upon, is that it injected the circuit with more female leadership, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, like, one thing I'm really seeing is that, like, I'm now seeing a lot more girl judges that, like, have run a team, run a comp, and, like, it's awesome. Like, it's not like we're not just like relying on Ridda and Angela for like every single fucking competition to judge. It's not like I'm seeing like new judges, and it's awesome because it's like, oh, who is judged first time? Who is? Oh, okay, right. She was a captain of a team. Like, good. All right. Like,
I actually think that a lot of those, I do think maybe potentially from Fodge, there was a couple of those Fodge girls who ended up dancing on NEBC. So, you know, it's kind of interesting. You look at it from like just like a 30,000-foot view, you would be like, nah, like what's the point of it? It didn't really have an impact at all. Like, you know, it's like there's no new girls teams. But then when you actually dig deep into it, you can see the downstream effects of a competition like RDR and what it did.
What's the next question?
So the next question that we have is from Amin Dingra from First Class Bhangra. Something I've noticed is that a lot of teams around the circuit, FCB, Fodge, Fertile, the list goes on, seem to really rely on older dancers and leaders on the team. I've also seen that a lot of judges at bigger comps are more experienced and older. Varun, Sid, Kunto, Trag, Howie, etc. Do you think the circuit has longevity with these trends, or when all of them step back will the circuit take a hit and the level of things will drop? Umer, I have some thoughts on this, but I just want to hear your first take on that statement.
All right, dude. Honestly, like, I see that, but we have this like conversation every year. Like, dude, the judges who are okay, I'm gonna attack the judges first. Because that's just a little bit easier. The judges who were judging in 2010, 2014 don't judge anymore. Like, Canel doesn't judge. Amito doesn't judge. Like,
Amito, this is not the Bhangra All-Stars.
No, different Amito. Like, there's plenty of judges that I've had that judged me when I was dancing on Steel City in 2014 that literally don't, like, Mariam doesn't really judge anymore. Like, there's plenty of them. And you also have to remember, like, what is old? Like, in all honesty, like
am I old?
Yeah, like, I mean, like, oh yeah, sure. Like, me and Sahab, I guess, are technically old to a lot of y'all. But dude, I'm 24. I just turned 24 like last month. Like,
I'm 25.
Yeah,
my white dotty hairs seem to disagree with me.
I'm going bald, but I've been going bald since I was 17. Okay, like, the shit's been bad. But point being is that, like, who else do you know that has that experience, dog? Who has run captain teams? Like, no, dude, no, there are no judges under the age of 22. Like there just aren't. Like Sunny here is like the only one I know, and he's like captain of the team and like done very well. Like
he's been dancing for
like he's been
7 years.
Yeah, he's been dancing for a while. He has an experience. I can like it makes sense for him to judge, but like other than that, like it just takes some time to get there. And okay, Sid's an anomaly. Gunthel's an anomaly. Chirag is also like those three are just like bad.
He's not that. I also don't think he's that much older.
Yeah, like no, that like yeah, Chirag's like 26, 27. He's not that old. Like he just seems old because he's been around forever, but he's not that old. Howie's like phasing himself out already. Varun, I mean, who knows what he's doing?
I don't want Howie to phase himself out.
But okay, listen. From conversations, he's like, "Oh, I'm done judging. This is stupid. Whatever."
Dude, when I tagged him,
yeah.
He's like, "I don't." When I tagged him, I was like, "Yo, fill out this Bhangra season review."
Yeah,
that was so funny. He's like, "I don't really watch enough Bhangra." Like, that's so funny, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, like, listen, it happens. Now, in terms of, I'll let you take the first half of the question.
The first I'm gonna give you a blanket statement. I'm gonna say no, a dead no to you. Okay, I'm gonna start it off my statement with that. I'm gonna give you an example of Sid. Obviously, you know Sid. He's founder of FCB. You dance on FCB. When Sid first judged me, he was 25 years old. This was back in 2016. Sorry, Sid. I told everybody how old you are. So, Sid was 25 when he first judged me, and this was in Blowout. I think at that point he had judged 3 or 4 comps, right?
And the comps that he judged, like he didn't actually like judge comps. It was just like somebody needed somebody really last minute, and like that's like if they were. That's what he told me.
That's what he says word for word, right?
Yeah.
So like he first judged me when he was 25. I was at that time 22.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now put that in the context of a team that I judged recently, which is BU Bhangra and Devam. Okay? Devam is what, 20 something? 2021? Devam, sorry, I don't really know how old you are.
He's in college still, that's the point.
He's in college. He's on BU Bhangra, junior, senior in college. First time I judge him, he's 25. Or I'm 25 and he's 21. Same situation. It's the same exact thing. You're always going to have those individuals in the circuit. But if you actually look, there's a lot of young individuals, and I'm going to use Fertile as an example. The other leaders of Fertile that aren't Gursimran and myself are Surya, who is 19 or 20. Forgot how old. Rishi, who is, I think, 20. Jasmeet, 20. Amol, 20. All these guys are young. They're your age or around your age.
Dude, in 2 years,
okay? and they're already starting to be groomed to judge Bhangra.
Yeah, dude, in 2 years, Fertile is gonna judge like every single fucking competition.
We'll be like FCB is right now.
Yeah.
Right? You guys judge like you, Sahil, judge every single comp.
Yeah.
Right, and then in addition to that, when I judged NDC with Sid and Kunto, Simran Lali, I think she's 23 or 22 or 23.
Yeah.
So she's in that age range. And I truly think that, this is a concern. It's a very valid concern. And I do want to just kind of put this in a perspective of that, like, what you're thinking is actually not an abnormality. It's just how things run in the circuit. Mm-hmm. And the circuit's not going to take a hit because let's just say, now the problem happens if all these 20, 22-year-olds just don't give a shit about Bhangra when they graduate college or just don't care about Bhangra at all when they are done, like when they retire from dancing. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Then your circuit's going to take a hit. But if you have individuals like Umer, myself, people like Sid, people like Howie, we graduated college, but we didn't stop giving a shit about Bhangra. Mm-hmm. We still very much cared about the art and the competitive circuit. Then the circuit never took a hit. And then we all also continued down paths of continuous learning, where we just kept trying to learn and be better individuals for the circuit and change our roles.
But when it comes to the state of the independent teams, yeah, there's a drop off. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, West Coast.
I disagree with that.
What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? What do you?
First day is the brand new independent team.
Okay, listen, I don't.
All those guys just graduated college.
I don't count the West Coast because the West Coast has they all trade dancers all the fucking time. There's 5 independent teams and they all trade 3 dancers every single time.
But first day is more of an East Coast vibe, man. I mean, dude, how many questions? Okay, you know what? First day, you're lucky, man. We're actually talking about you on the podcast.
Fine, after
every. You submitted Dude, Umar, how many questions they submit
listen,
about like, yo,
over
talk about first day. Finally,
like,
we're talking
yeah,
about you.
all right.
Okay, happy?
Yeah.
But yeah, first day is like all those guys are young, man. I'm pretty sure.
How is that an East Coast vibe though? That's my question. What are you talking about? They have a distinct LA vibe.
Bro, they have a distinct East Coast Fudge vibe. Are you talking? Not Fudge vibe. Take that back.
Yeah.
Bro, they have a distinct. They got a distinct
Fudge vibe,
swaggy vibe.
Yeah,
that matches very closely to
Fortile
and kind of like Fudge.
Okay, fair.
So they're way more East Coast than anything. I don't think with the independent teams, I'm actually glad to see a team like First there because they're younger people. They're a new team on the block. That's like how it used to be back in the day.
TK.
2010, 2012, before even you and I were in.
Yeah, I mean agreed, but at the same time, like. I should say this, like, dude, there are few, like, there's a transition going on right now, and hopefully it continues because I mean, if Furnished is the only team that is the only new independent team, is gonna suck. I mean, DDJ is technically a thing. That's it. I don't know. That's it. Like, that's all I know. What do you mean? Yeah, name one. Name another new one.
Mob.
Man, Mob's been around.
They've been around. Okay, they've been around.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, and this is kind of,
GGW,
we're really going
again,
long on this question, but just dissecting that portion of it. Do you think the abundance of academies that are now popping up has an effect?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like, I think the U.S. is just gonna start shifting towards academies. That's a big thing. Like, it's not gonna be independent teams anymore. It's gonna be like CIA. There's gonna be DFA. Like, those are the new like powerhouse like non-collegiate teams.
FBI. You'll have you have IRS. You'll have all these new guys coming out.
All right.
So Jake Bjork. This is a question from Jake Bjork we got from Instagram. Thoughts on universal Bhangra body to standardize comps and dancing styles?
Nah.
So Umer, you followed up with them and he kind of went over a little more detail what this question was about, right?
Yeah, I mean his main question was just like, listen, there's RAS, there's Legends, they tend to like standardize rubrics, they tend to standardize judging, and they tend to like have like certain rules in place. So like shit like a bug meeting -5 and not getting first place is like a stated rule.
So wait, so RAS and you said RAS and Legends.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know anything about like ROS.
So RAS is like the like centralized organization for the ROS circuit, and then Legends and /DDN is like the overarching like hierarchical centralized government for the fusion circuit. I don't know what the fuck to call them, but it's them. All right. So I get why you'd want that because of like issues with judging, issues like everybody fucking knows what like the issues with the Bhangra circuit. But I guess my thing is like, yo, you think like SPD is gonna like listen to a bunch of college kids like doing this shit in the States? Nah, like absolutely not. There's too much variability in how Bhangra is done for there to be like a standardized dance form and standardized rubrics like the Legend. Like the one thing I really actually, so like I've judged one fusion comp and I like butted heads with Legends so much the entire judging process. And because like, listen, dude, like I don't want anybody telling me how to deliberate or like telling me I can't deliberate. Like, absolutely not. I don't fucking want that. And also, it's like, I personally think that with Legend, like the way, again, like I'm shitting on Legends. I really appreciate how y'all have been like really like appreciate the effort you're putting in. But like, I'm just using this as a comparison. Like the one thing I really don't like about how Legends runs things is that there's one standardized rubric for all the comps. If that was to happen in Bhangra, like it would get so like people already complain about Bhangra being boring. It would be so much more boring. Like you wouldn't have a Brew and an MCB and a 6 and an NDC like exist in the same circuit because those are such radically different competitions. And what those different rubrics really allow is a diversity in how you express Bhangra, how you perform Bhangra. There can't be live comps. There can't be like all these different competitions. If that doesn't happen, they aren't allowed to have different types of teams, different styles, etc. And that's why I really don't think a like universal dancing standards should or could exist in the Bhangra circuit. However, Sahab, I know you have some opinions.
I got some opinions on this. I'm going to echo, man, kind of what you said, but I have another kind of perspective on it. Instead of standardization, let's move towards a model of guidance. Okay.
And what do you mean? What do you like? So you say guidance, but like, what do you mean by that?
Like, what I mean by model of guidance is that how to run a comp properly. Who are the different judging options that I have in the circuit?
Okay.
What are those judges qualified? If I'm someone, and this has happened a lot in the collegiate run Bhangra comps, you will have people who have zero Bhangra background running that comp.
Plenty.
That's
and
a,
like
that's a
really,
that's a
and
problem.
this isn't,
That's a major problem.
and this
Like,
isn't
you
just
need
like
to,
little
if you're
tiny
running
comps.
something, it's a school of thought, right? So it's a school of thought. So you can say like, okay, this person's an organized person. They'll be able to figure it out as they go. I don't agree with that school of thought. You need to have, if you're gonna run a Bhangra comp, you need to know what that's like. You need to know what Bhangra is about.
Yeah.
You need to know the circuit. You need to know the judges. You need to know these things, right? So what I mean
And
by
yo, like,
when I said that,
I do want to say this, like, and this isn't like some kind of like, this isn't just a few comps here and there. These are big comps. Like, Berg is often run by Ross dancers. Blowout.
Berg and their
Blowout
Berg
is also
their,
not always does not always have Bhangra dancers as like co-directors or like major board positions. Like, I'm naming those two just because I specifically know those, but there are plenty of competitions that are run by non-Bhangra dancers.
Berg put in their application for their elective board, because it just showed up on my Facebook feed, that you don't have to, for their e-board, right? So the leaders, you don't have to have a Bhangra background.
Which I understand to some extent.
In their application for their president, all that. I get it. It's not like the Bhangra comp is a subsidiary of their whatever, like Indian student organization, right? But that's very critical. Like, it's a very, very, very critical thing that you understand Bhangra. And I always think about this in like this sense. I have an appreciation for folk Bhangra, right? And I want to run a folk Bhangra competition. But I don't know, because I was raised in more of a North American modern Bhangra style. I don't know all the folk judges. If you had that universal body that provided more guidance, me as an organizer who loves Bhangra, I would be able to go to that body and I could be like, look, I'm trying to run this competition. I want your help to help me pick up judges who are going to match the rubric that I'm trying to produce. Then they would give me a list of these people from India, these people from this person, like, reach out to these individuals. But that's more of a guidance than a standardizing a company.
So I want to push back against that. That already exists. Like, there doesn't need to be like an organized body. Dude, there's just word of mouth. Like, all these comps can do that already. They can reach out. They can go to BTF. They can do all these things and message. Like, dude, if you go to BTF and you see the people who post the most, all right, that's a guy. Let me ask him. Who should I talk to? Like, those conversations can already happen. There doesn't need to be like guidance can already happen in the circuit as currently constructed, but it just doesn't, because comp directors don't do that.
You're right in saying that anybody who wants to run something, has a passion for it, will probably have that knowledge, right? But then I become an individual who who's never run a comp before, and I kind of want someone on a consultant side of it. It makes sense that I can have a person, I can just go on BTF and be like, yo, I'm running a Bhangra comp, tell me what to do. The universal body behind it becomes more of a knowledge source and a data bank, where and it's ownership, right? That's kind of like why those types of organizations work and are repetitively work, is because there's some type of ownership behind it that's constantly maintaining it, right? And kind of playing on the second part of that. I mean, this is a very good question. There's a lot. It's really deep. But, if all dancing standards are the same, I'm gonna tell you something. You will get so bored with Bhangra, because I'm gonna tell you, when I see all these collegiate Bhangra teams that have white-based Vardi that all dance exactly the same because they're trying to be CMU Bhangra from 2016, right? Like, that's literally what
it is. It is.
I don't like watching those teams. I don't like watching them at all. It's like it becomes derivative. Everything becomes derivative of something. Yeah. Right? You are forcing, if you put dancing standards, you are forcing teams to become derivative of what is popular. And then in addition to that, the golden age of Bhangra that most people talk about, golden age, platinum age, whatever you want to call it, was 2010 to 2014, in my mind. Okay? Where every single you went to a Bhangra comp, you knew what you were going to get from the teams, but every team had its unique identity. They all danced differently. They all had brought something that was uniquely themselves. It was a very fun time to watch Bhangra.
Dude, listen, I remember the first time I watched Fodge at Fodge at Bruin 2014. Bro, they danced at a fucking ice cream truck song. I laughed my ass off. Like, in a good, like, I loved it. Like, not a lot of people liked it, but it's totally unexpected. Like, those kind of ideas. It was hilarious.
Yeah. And then if you think about it, like, you look at I would say the top 3 teams from WBBC 2013. The winner was Cornell. I think second place was BK, and third place was Fodge.
Those are completely different teams.
Completely different styles, but you could see the entertainment value from all of that. So you have to balance it. Yeah, great. Everyone dances exactly the same. Judging is very, I guess, easy because you don't really have to focus too much on that part because everyone has a dancing standard. Everyone has to lift their legs like this. Everyone has to do this. Even if you look at India, every Bhangra team dances a little differently, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you don't want to standardize something that's a subjective art because you don't want it to lose its subjective touch. It's very important. That's the very thing that I think that I want I want many people in college to understand. College Bhangra circuit dancers.
Yeah. Kind of went off on like a bunch of different trains of thought there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a complex question,
it really
right?
is.
Because everyone looks at, oh, look at Desi Dance Network and they have legends and look at everything standardized, dude. It's not that great.
And dude, I
it's
know
it's not all sunshine and roses on the other side. The grass always looks greener on the other side, but I'm gonna tell you from what I've heard, it's not like the most ideal situation.
Listen,
Not everyone loves
listen. If you can't deliberate, fuck that. I'm just gonna stop there. God damn, I fucking hate Legends judging process.
Yeah, it's a complex problem. It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. So, last question we got today. How does the circuit compare in competitiveness to previous years? So follow up to that. Why is everyone soft in today's circuit? What are some ways for us to foster kindness and encouragement within the circuit? Fuck you, Priyanka. All right, so the questions are like we kind of lumped some questions together, but it was
we got a couple of questions. We got
Priyanka.
One from Prabhner, Prabhner Bhatti from Fertile. And then the second part of the question, which is what are some ways to foster kindness and encouragement in the circuit, was from Priyanka, who dances on FCB and SDS.
Why are you like stumbling through FCB, man? Like what do you mean? I'm right here. Why are you stumbling to pronounce that?
It's so funny, dude. I mean, Umer's like on your team. Why don't you guys just ask him directly for his thoughts? We lumped these questions together because we thought it was so funny that we got one of the questions like, why are people so soft? And then like, well, how do we foster kindness and encouragement? But then we saw some kind of like uniformity in the response.
Yeah.
I mean, Umer, I can let you shoot first on this one.
All right, listen. All right. I don't know, man. Like, I hate this question because I like look at BTF back in the day. Everybody's just a fucking asshole. Like, no, like, it's just, like, everybody's, oh, you're so soft, oh, we can't say shit. No, man, I just don't want to, like, some random dude I don't know on BTF say, you fucking suck, It's like, no, it's just not, that's not feedback. That's just you being a dick. And if that's me being soft, then fuck you, man. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, that's not how you talk to people. And
Umer, so what you're referencing is, like, what people used to do on BTF was you would post a video, and you sometimes do and sometimes don't. But the often response, so you'll post your video and say, give us feedback. It will usually just be like a one sentence thing like, yo, that segment sucked, or like that was amazing. That's it. But it would typically be like a critique, but a very short critique. It wasn't like very expansive. Sometimes it was very expansive, but other times it was very just short, like poignant, like just one sentence. And if you read it in today's world, it comes off as
in any world, man, dude. It's just like any world. Don't give me that. Like, people are people. Being yelled at is never nice. All right, just being a dick. Like, people just did not talk to like anybody. I don't know, man. I hated that shit. So like, yeah, okay, listen. I hate this question in terms of like being soft. Like, no, dude. Like, humans are bad at taking criticism. Humans are bad at giving criticism. This has always been a fucking thing. My thing is, okay, the reason like you could say like there was more competitiveness in the circuit like 2010 to 2014, dude, this is my opinion, and I've shared this opinion with some people and like convinced some people and others not. But listen, 2010, 2014, like that time, people were self-teaching themselves Bhangra. Like, there was no at least in the United States, there was no ustad like going around spreading the word of Bhangra. Like, they were just like Harman brought some, like Sid would tell me, Harman brought some videos from Punjab, some DVDs, and they like learned from that. Like, that's how they learn. And the thing is, that process, like having to teach themselves through like all these random fucking sources, that weeds out so many people. The barrier to entry is so high. And so if you are able to pass that barrier, you already have this, like, it's like self-selecting like a certain group of people that are much more competitive. Nowadays, there are like a lot of academies in this circuit. There are a lot of collegiate teams and other teams in the United States where somebody already knows, and so they can just easily teach them. And that person doesn't have to like go out and like find and really hunt for that knowledge. And so the barrier entry is lower, and so that weeding out doesn't happen. And so you just have less people who like aren't as passionate about Bhangra as they were back then. That is my opinion. I understand people can disagree with me, but that's really that. Like
there is so it's kind of like the pride aspect of it, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of what you're kind of talking.
There's less pride in the dance form. Like I mean, like I know you have like a team thing, but I mean like there's just like let's take two dancers. They're gonna put those two dancers in 2010 in Bhangra scene, and we're gonna put them in the 2017 Bhangra scene. All right. One dancer, super motivated about Bhangra, super motivated about Bhangra. She will do anything to like find any random person on YouTube from Punjab teaching you Bhangra. That guy will fucking compete. Second person, kind of into Bhangra, seen it on TV, seen some performances, would be kind of cool. But I got other shit going on. I don't have the time for this. That person's gonna weed themselves out. They're selected out. Now, take those two people, put them in 2017. That one person who really wants to do Bhangra will find a way. He'll find a team. He'll find it. He'll be awesome. Second person, oh hey, there's somebody who will teach me. Okay, yeah, I'll go to practice. Yeah, I'll go do that. That person's now competing. It's just, in my opinion, the circuit now is just more accessible, and so you now see people who aren't as passionate dancing, and so it might come off as soft, but it's just like, yo, there's just more people doing it now.
Look, when I think about this, I'm actually going to go into the human psyche about this. Mm-hmm. A human psyche and social media. Okay, two parts of it. Mm-hmm. In the human psyche, image is important. Right, image is very important. Now,
we are talking about someone.
I'm telling you, this is gonna make this all make sense.
Give me your theory of everything, man.
So my theory of everything. It's gonna make all this make sense. So back when BTF was open, you knew who people were. Everyone posted their opinion, mm-hmm. but social media and the presence of it was not as ever present as it is now. You didn't have followers.
MySpace was the big thing back then.
You didn't have number of followers. You didn't have BTF had karma points. Oh, and I think they had karma points, but they didn't have likes, I
never knew how that karma shit worked.
Me neither. Oh yeah, you could give people karma. What would happen is so if someone says something you agree with, then you give them karma or some bullshit. Okay. I don't know how the system exactly works, some shit like that. But so essentially, right, the way, and then the new BTF, how it changed, actually started implementing a likes system, mm-hmm. the new forum platform. It became more like social media. Mm-hmm. So the very interesting aspect of this is if you're someone who goes around on DDN or BTF on the Facebook page and being like, yo, that performance sucked. Yo, that sucks. Yo, our team's better than you. Yo, fuck you. You end up producing a label. That label gets associated with you, that label, and then because you're associated with the team, that label then spreads to that team. Uh-huh. Okay? Because of that and because of the image portion of it, and then on top of that, let's turn to social media. Because you have that image, people may be less likely to follow you or whatever it may be. Some whatever bullshit on Instagram happens. Right? You may not get as many likes or whatever that is. There's very few people that don't give a shit about likes. And if you are someone who tells me I don't care about how many people, followers and likes I have, that's BS. Because it's natural in the human psyche to have a, have a...
No, you're going to like it. You're going to like it.
It's a dopamine rush. Yeah. It's a dopamine rush when you get people to like you. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like a satisfaction to it. Yeah. Some people are rare and they get a satisfaction of people hating them. I don't know too many people like that, but there's that portion of it. Mm. So when you think about it from that side, because I'm going to tell you, there is still so much shit talking that happens in the circuit. It's just not done on social media, in public. There's so much shit talking that happens in the circuit. A lot of it, people will talk about other teams behind their back all the time. I don't really give a shit if you do. That's your opinion, mm-hmm. whatever. Mm-hmm. You can have your opinion, but that shit still exists. Mm-hmm. Now, the problem is you want to create that image, and the problem is if someone let's just say in my community, there's two Bhangra teams, right? Two all-male Bhangra teams. You start talking shit about that all-male Bhangra team, you start getting labeled as a hater and a shitty person, mm-hmm. then people don't want to join you because you have that image.
Okay.
And they start ignoring those facts of oh, maybe this person is actually very knowledgeable about Bhangra.
But don't you think that
they might be a dick.
But don't you think that happened back then too?
What's up?
But my argument is that happened then too. If you were an asshole on BTF,
but it's not as ever present with social media now. Dude, everyone's trying to create their own brand on social.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Everyone's trying to create a brand on social media, gain followers. Sure. But when you were back in the day, you weren't trying to create your brand and gain followers. You were just trying to start a Bhangra team.
Okay.
And you had your crew. Another thing is a lot of these Bhangra teams back in the day were just groups of friends starting a group team.
That's generally how it started.
That's how it's a group of friends that start a Bhangra team together. But today it's more about there's like people who have.
No, what I'm saying is that you're talking about clout chasing.
Yeah, like I guess clout chasing. I wouldn't put clout chasing as the word, but it's kind of like I'm just putting it in the context of me. If I go talk about my competitive team in a very shitty manner to people outside, it's gonna go to that team. It's gonna cause problems.
Okay.
Right, and it's not gonna be fun or anything. Now, for me, what I see this question, certain competitiveness in the previous years, kind of how I approach every competition, is when I go to comp, I may be friendly with you, I might say hi to you, but you're my enemy for.
Absolutely, same.
You are not my friend. Like, I will not in any way treat you with disrespect. If you come to me and you're like, Sahab, can you help us out? I need some pins for bugs. I'm not gonna go be like, yo, go fuck yourself. No, I'm not gonna be like swear at you or give you a dirty look. I'll be like, yep, I got you. You treat your enemy with respect, but understand that you gotta take them.
Yeah.
That is, I think, the competitiveness and softness that this question is referring to, and that why it always comes up is what I kind of see kind of going away. And from a Midwest perspective, I think it's because of team pride, individual team pride.
What do you mean by team pride, man? Like you thought
guest dancing.
I hate that term fucking guest dancing. I hate that term.
I hate guest dancing.
No. I hate that term guest dancing. It's like, oh, I'm a guest. Like fuck you, man. Like I'm joining your team. I'm a part of your team. Don't fucking call me a guest.
So you're gonna be a part of what? 3 different teams?
Yeah, that's how we treat it on FCB.
So then when you compete against another team, what does that mean?
Yeah,
you're technically a part of.
You are a part. Like, okay, listen. Whenever I dance against Sanya here or Arun or like Dhruva or anybody who's danced with FCB, not that like mainly dancing.
When I went dancing against Dhruva, I want to beat him too.
Yeah, I want to beat him too. But my point is, like, I want to beat them, but at the same time, they're still FCB to me. They're still a part of FCB.
I don't see it like that. Okay. I say if my perspective is if you're gonna dance on my team, you can either dance. The only way you can dance on another team is if it's in a collegiate team and you're in college. You are not dancing on another team during the competitive season, or even outside the competitive season. I don't think you should be dancing for another team. That's my opinion on it. Obviously, people have their own choices, but that's how I approach it always. I'm kind of like, you are a one team. You stand behind one banner, and you stick to that one banner. You don't go and dance for multiple teams. That's how I've always approached it.
That is not how you've always approached it. That is absolutely fine. That is not how you've always approached it. I asked you to dance, if I could dance, and you were like, oh my god, you want to dance for me?
Okay, so let's cut all of the things.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm someone just cut.
Yeah.
Hypocritical. It's very much how I think now, but it was not how I used to think like 2 years ago. But it's pretty hypocritical for me to say that. But on the other side, okay, so I've always wrestled with this topic, like, okay, should one dancer be allowed to dance for multiple teams? More recently, I even think sometimes it comes in like flashes with me that you should only be dancing behind one banner in one team, and that's it.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of just it's just how it works, right? The state of Michigan is very unique. I mean, there's not very many areas that you can say where there's 2 premier all-male teams literally within 5 minutes of each other and like live in the same apartment complex and like are like in the same exact community.
Yeah, it's not. That doesn't exist.
It's very rare. It's not like that's an anomaly.
Yeah,
that's an anomaly. But I've always said, I'm like, it's not fair to one team. It's not fair to 2 teams if you dance for both of them during the middle of competitive season. That's kind of my perspective on it. But the thing that happens with that is because you start dancing for other teams, you create a kinship with that organization, right? Yeah. That kinship is going to naturally decrease your competitiveness a little.
See, and this is, again, like I've told you this before, I disagree with you. Like, so a bunch of CMU dancers have like danced with FCB. I still want to destroy them, and every single time I beat, like, I never want them to beat us ever. When I went like for delay, same day, I like when you got 3rd at champs, I was so happy. I was like, all right, fuck it, like, yeah, like, like we still beat them, like that competitiveness is like never gone.
It's just not as visible.
I mean, like, again, what is wrong with that? Like, there's nothing, like, oh yeah, maybe I don't want to punch your brains in, but I still want to beat you as badly.
Yeah, I mean, I do see that, but I do kind of see the softness argument.
Okay, I see that it's
people are a little bit softer.
Okay, oh my God! Finally, we're treating each other like decent human beings. Like people have
Dude. What I mean by that is like, if you get talked shit on about you,
Yeah.
you don't go and fix what you got. You get talked shit upon. You go and complain about.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, fine.
I've seen that. Like if you go and say like, yo, that team's fucking blue, right? And I go and say that to some internal person on my team.
Okay.
These are not actual things that happen.
Yeah.
I'm just giving such
scenarios,
right? So like if I go and talk to some internal person on my team, that person goes and takes it to another person on that relative team that I'm talking shit about. They will not actually fix what they need to fix. They will go and just talk shit. They will just end up talking shit. And this is what I mean by that. That's like the softness. It's not like, okay, you're going to talk shit about me. I'm going to go to the next comp you compete at, and I'm going to fucking kick your ass.
Okay, well then those.
What I mean by kick your ass is I mean like I'm going to compete against you and beat you.
Oh, okay, well then maybe that's just like different people because like I would respond differently. It's like oh, like Fortile thinks they're going to beat me. Fuck you, no you're not. Like if like so and so CMU thinks they're going to.
We're doing generalizations.
Yeah, okay.
Right, in the circuit. We're doing generalizations.
Listen,
right?
No,
like I've always said like camaraderie, cool. Like I appreciate what you do.
Yeah.
You have a fantastic dance style, but I want to beat you.
Yeah, that's exactly how I think.
I should probably not say kick your ass because it sounds like I'm gonna beat you.
No, I want to kick your ass.
I mean like I want to beat you at a competition.
Nah, dude, like
I think that's the perspective that is this soft thing that always comes up. To be honest, I don't hear it too much. I only see like a very select few people say it.
It's always the older dudes who like, yeah, the circuit's so soft. Back in my day, I used to break bottles on everybody else. Yeah, like that's a felony. Like, oh my God. Like I'm really glad the circuit's
in the elevator.
Yeah, like I'm really glad that shit doesn't happen as much anymore. Like that's a good thing. Like wow, we're like not committing felons.
And this kind of segues into what are some ways for us to foster kindness and encouragement in the circuit. I honestly think that everything that's being done right now is fostering that kindness and encouragement. Like the way people treat Bhangra, like on social media, the supportiveness behind it, the number of academies act as that encouragement. I mean, and I actually want to highlight this in the ADZ podcast. We did not say the judges' names. I don't know if anyone actually picked up on that.
Yeah.
We didn't say any of the judges' names. Nor did we even ever utter the statement. We may have said that mob maybe should have had a larger point deduction for when they're placing, or they could have a potential disqualification or whatever, but we never said the words mob should not have placed. Listen to that podcast. I don't think you should. I don't think we can really validate this for me.
I don't remember hearing it, but I don't think we said it either.
We never said those words. Mob should not have placed. So when I mean by foster kindness and encouragement, be a creative. Do stuff like this podcast, right? Say if you want to be on the podcast, be like, hey, I've had like this Bhangra history. We may not know who you are, or we may know who you are. We just haven't thought about it. Be like, hey, I kind of want to share my knowledge. Don't think about it in a clout sense. Remember, no clout chasing. But be like, hey, I kind of want to share my knowledge of what Bhangra, like what my experience and journey through Bhangra is. Would it be possible for you to include me on the podcast? We are always open to that. That attitude of just being very open-minded and fostering that environment and being very communicative in the sense that, you're always going to communicate in a positive light and not do anything in a negative manner is always going to foster a great environment, and I really think that, we took that podcast, the last one, and we really flipped the switch on it and said, you know what, this is more of an education thing than a case study. Yes, we had our emotions come in where we got heated and we were like, that's not acceptable. We took it as something that we want people to see where a pitfall may happen, and we want you to take it as an educational opportunity. Those are the ways that you foster creative environments.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean,
I don't
really have anything else to say.
It's great because you could kind of it's like this question is so funny that there were such polar opposite questions. I thought it was so funny. I'm always going to be like, a little bit, because I saw that environment. I was like, yeah, we were a little bit softer today, but I don't think it's a bad.
No, yeah.
I don't think it's
sure.
A bad thing.
If like not getting the fights at every single after party and not like cursing each other out is softer, like I'll take that. That's fine. I'm totally cool with that. I don't like. I'm a punchy little man then. Whatever. Anyways, that was the last question. Yeah. This was dope. Again, all right. I really like this. We should do this more.
Yeah, this is really awesome. Like, I really appreciate everyone submitting their questions and all of that. If you do support the podcast, please share on social media platforms. We are trying to reach a broader audience, not because we want everyone to follow what we say, but because we want everyone to be able to hear different voices in the circuit.
Yeah.
And if you do support the podcast, if you like what you heard, if you didn't even, let's just say you hated what you heard.
Tell us. We want to hear from you.
Tell us.
Yeah.
Send us a DM. Message Umer, whatever.
What?
Just FaceTime me, like I always say, to most people. But it's really great that if you want more items like this, share things like this.
Yeah.
If you want more things like this in the circuit, share.
Yeah, like dude, the BTF, like we're gonna post this everywhere whenever it comes out, and like on BTF, the last podcast had like 80 comments on it. It was hype. It was awesome. I loved having that conversation with everybody. So like
there was a ton of discussion.
Oh, it was great.
That's great.
It was great. I want to have that. That's what this podcast is about, like fostering and bringing more conversations to light. So yeah, all right. Cool. All right. Well, this was another episode of the Bhangra podcast.